Words. Look, there have only been 2 players who've had consecutive 45-point games at the age of 35 or older. Now, obviously, we switched to the NBA. Michael Jordan in 2001, Steph Curry, his last 2 outings. No one has ever done it in 3 games. Curry and the Warriors taking on the Pelicans. Spoiler alert, that would stand. Moses Moody, on the other hand, on fire. First quarter, knocking down 7 threes just in that first frame. He joins Klay Thompson and Steph Curry as the only Warriors players to make 7 or more threes in a single quarter. Then there was this. Herb Jones drives the lane, draws the foul on Draymond Green. Green doesn't care about the foul. He's going to chirp it up with a fan.
What's the fan got to do with it?
I don't really know. At one point he called him like Angel Reese. The fan got a warning. Green had thoughts.
He just kept calling me a woman. It was a good joke at first. Thank you for calling me a woman. Do I look like a woman? Do I look like a woman?
She's a very good rebounder.
Yeah, for sure. But at least call Lisa Leslie was a good rebounder too. She older than me. Somebody just
Sir, if you were, you may be able to handle your emotions better. Did I say that? Is that too soon? Green finished with 8 points and 10 rebounds. Third quarter, Warriors up a lot to a little. Fast break, Jimmy Butler finds Curry. Those are the first points of his game.
Really?
Yep. He did hit a 3. That's proof of it. Curry had 9 points, 3 assists. It's okay. They didn't need him. There's Moody wide open. Career high 32 points for him. Warriors won at 124-106.
Carry that momentum throughout the rest of the game.
I mean, the way they started, the Warriors were able to move the ball. They got the ball to Moses early in the game. He got fired. And this is why the Warriors system works so well. Everybody touches the ball. Everybody's a threat. You don't know whose night is going to be on any given Sunday. And tonight was Moses Moody's night. Steph Curry has been carrying the load. I wanted to see how the Warriors were going to take advantage of playing against New Orleans. New Orleans is one of the worst defensive teams out there. Tonight, you got to see them be athletic. They stepped up to the game. They were blocking shots and recovering. All these things happen when the Warriors come in town. They play a little bit above, a little bit more excited, try to get into the rhythm of the game, but I thought that first quarter set the tone tonight. They came into this game trying to move the ball, try to play the game the right way, and the Warriors walked away with the win because they stabilized that.
Yeah, you were right in that second quarter. Go ahead, Cena.
Oh, best part about this, first half, 58 points scored by someone named other than Steph Curry.
No.
Like, that's important, right? When you think about the fact that Steph Curry had to get his first field goal from Jimmy.
Yep.
I love that. I love the fact that they were able to get the ball moving and people involved earlier this game than we've seen in previous ones.
Yeah, Stephen Curry, in the first half, he didn't make a field goal. First time since the Rockets game last spring where he didn't do that in the second half and went scoreless there. But let's continue to talk about Moses Moody. Look, he's had some up and downs, right? We talked about his home road splits. However, he's starting to find his rhythm. We saw it Wednesday night in San Antonio. And look at this graphic right here. Most threes made by an individual in a single quarter in NBA history. He's now in the record books, folks. You got Clay, you got Kelly Oubre, you got Kevin Love. And look at Moses Moody trying to knock Stephen Curry off that list, Fezzi.
I mean, Moses has, since he came into the league, came to the Warriors, he's always played more mature than his years. Like, he has been the guy to come in and step into whatever role you want him to play. You want him to be a defender? You want him to be a knockdown shooter? Do you want him to be a ball mover? He always finds a way. And this summer, it seems like he was in that gym getting shots up because right now he is really shooting that basketball at a high clip. Says a lot about the ball movement for the Warriors. You see him coming off all these pin downs, a lot of great movement. This is his job. If he's going to start alongside Steph, he's got to be able to hit these shots so that the floor opens up for the rest of the team. And you saw the defense. They were stuck to him by glue in the second quarter. They did not let Moses Moody go anywhere without a chaperone.
Yeah, Moses Moody doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. He's so even-keeled. And that is very reminiscent of Klay Thompson, right? Being able to just whatever game, whatever happened the previous game, whatever he put up, coming in, ready to shoot, relocating, knowing that Steph is going to grab some attention and being able to be prepared whenever his moment was called. And that's exactly what you want to see in Moses Moody, getting that confidence and letting it now roll out onto the floor into the likes of a 32-point game, career high.
Yeah, career high for threes made, career high for points, and he's going to get some Southern cooking in about an hour or two with the team dinner, man. Choice feel good.
I don't know about
food. My
Grease does not help my joints.
No, but I'm saying the food down there. I don't know.
Yeah,
I need to go down there. These joints, Vontae, I can feel something. My joints. Is that what?
There's a little lubrication up
Take a play off, man. I want to talk about Jimmy Butler's night for the Golden State Warriors. As you guys mentioned, he got Steph going early in the third quarter with that bucket there to say, hey, Steph, get on the board here. But Jimmy's had a fine road trip. 18 points tonight, 6 of 8 from the floor. He's hitting the three. He messes around and drops a double-double, Fezzi.
Jimmy Butler he's been just a professional. He is consistent every game. He's making plays. This is a game where he did a lot of his damage in the paint, kind of around their rim. He's moving, he's creating shots for other guys. I love that when Steph comes out the game, Jimmy Butler is the guy that takes over the offense. He's taking over with the ball in his hands. He's making plays. Like right here, you see him jumping the passing lanes, getting out there, getting a few open shots. Matter of fact, one of the big plays going into halftime was a steal that Jimmy got, breaking up plays because it seemed like New Orleans was starting to get some momentum in the first half. And you know all the time we talk about going into halves, ending quarters, how important that is. Well, you've seen Jimmy Butler use his defense to create some of that momentum too.
And what an example he was setting for the likes of a Will Richard, for the likes of Moses Moody, of the consistent running. Jimmy Butler was the one when Draymond Green had that full court pass. He was running out all the way, beat his defenders. One of the oldest guys out on the floor. We're talking about an incredibly athletic team in New Orleans, and Jimmy Butler's winning the foot race against them in a full court sprint. This is exactly what you want to see out of Jimmy Butler, just continuously using his athleticism to beat his defender and best his defender. We saw some ISO plays as well, but that's what you need sometimes to stabilize your offense when Steph is out, and that's what Jimmy brings.
A very efficient night for Jimmy Buckets, his second double-double of the season. And then we move along to Brandon Podziemski. San Antonio, he really showed up and showed out, and he continued that tonight. Solid night for Pods. 19, Zena, 8 of 13 from the floor, 3 made threes. He's starting to figure out his role. Look, he's started, he's come off the bench, but he's getting his minutes, and now he's starting to get buckets.
Woo, the footwork from the young man is beautiful. And what I love most, the first 2 clips, where'd he score, Fezzi?
Into the rim.
In the paint, getting to the rim. And this is what Brandon Podziemski can do so well. I love the fact that he was getting in, forcing the issue at the rim, which you need more of from the Warriors overall. But Brandon Podziemski, number 1, we just talked about Jimmy Butler, 10 assists, did have 6 turnovers. Let's call that out. Guess who had?
Oh, look at you.
0.
Look at that.
Hey, listen, we celebrate that these days.
You have
Sorry.
to.
Yeah,
That's a big deal, okay? That's a big deal. 0.
All right, so Pods, as a primary ball handler on the floor, especially with Steph out, it's his job to make sure the Warriors touch the paint. He touched the paint so other guys can get more space to be able to operate. I thought he did a great job of that. He passed up a couple of 3-point shots and just drove in for an open layup. That's you taking advantage, understanding the team that you're playing against. New Orleans Pelicans, they do have some athletes over there, but they are not disciplined. And he did a great job creating opportunities for his other teammates. I saw him playing in the dunker there off of Jimmy Butler. This is the team just figuring out their chemistry. This is one of the reasons why I said, Bonte, I do not react to anything before 10 games because you're still trying to figure out your lineups. You don't know how guys are going to play together. Now the team is starting to catch some chemistry. Now they're starting to get some rhythm together. And you can see Brandon Podziemski having that rhythm with Jimmy. You can see him having that with Moses Moody. And you can see him having that with Will Richard.
How important is it for a player to know his defined role? Because Pods is starting one game, coming off the bench one game. Now Steve Kerr said, I'm rolling out Will Richard and Moses Moody to start alongside the big 3. Pods is going to come off the bench. However, played 29 minutes Wednesday night, played crucial fourth quarter minutes Friday night, and tonight he had 26 minutes. But now he knows, right? Doesn't that help a player knowing that I'm going to come off the bench as a 6th or 7th man? I'm just going to play my game.
It does help. Consistency helps players. Here's one thing I've heard everybody, not just Coach Kerr, I've heard other players describe Brandon Podziemski as a basketball player. They don't say he's a shooting guard. They don't say he's a point guard. He's a basketball player. That means you make plays no matter the situation. You know how to adapt. You know how to react. And that's what you see in him. If you need him to go get rebounds, you've seen him get double-doubles with rebounds. You've seen him get assist double-doubles. You've seen him make plays, get charges. I've seen him. He got a big charge the last game against the Spurs. Tonight, stopping plays, being out there, those are things that as a point guard, you got to figure out what the game needs, and he fits himself in. So consistency is important where you started with, but with the lineup with Steve Kerr, you never know what you're going to do. You just got to be a basketball player that has high IQ and figure out a way to impact the game.
It makes me think of what Draymond Green said just a few games ago, literally last week. about OKC, right? About how important it is that everyone in OKC understands their role, understands what they got to do. Just so if Shai Gilgeous is not available, it's cool. We know who steps up. Jalen Williams hasn't played yet. We know who steps up. It doesn't matter with a team like that that's rolling on all cylinders. It's because everyone knows where they fit within the wheel to make it roll. And so now we're starting to see what, being a few games in, after the 10-game mark, you're right, people start realizing, okay, I'm this spoke in the wheel. And if another spoke is missing, I know where I fit in. And that's what you want to see the Warriors do. And Brandon Podziemski is learning that very quickly.
Well, the Warriors are now 44-16 when Moses Moody starts for them. And how about my favorite stat?
Oh, man.
52-41. When Day makes at least 2 threes in the game. For the 15th most threes in NBA history. Speaking of Buddy, his last 13 games, he was shooting just 25% from the three-point line. He was struggling. Weren't discussing it much. It didn't matter, right? But now he comes into the game, and look, he saw his minutes decrease, Fezzi, the other night in San Antonio, just 14 minutes, and then 15 minutes on Wednesday night. But tonight, felt like he started feeling comfortable. Zena, you mentioned this in the pregame show. He kept hustling, kept defending at a high level, and now the ball is falling through the hoop like it did tonight at the Smoothie King Center. Buddy Hield, 11 points, 4 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 6 from the three-point line.
Listen, I love this for Buddy because sometimes, he'll try to put that shot up, and we know he's going to come out and consistently attempt those threes. But it hasn't always fallen for him as consistently as he'd wanted to. So it's beautiful to see 3 of 6, that efficiency, 50% from the floor, and they were easy threes. He found himself in the right places at the right time on the floor, being able, once again, everyone on this team, seeing the benevolence of Steph Curry. When he's out there, you're gonna get some treats, and those are gonna be some easy threes out on the corners.
Get some treats. Okay, now I like that. Buddy Hield, his job coming off the bench, he has to hit shots. That's his number one opportunity and number one job on this team is to be the guy that spaces the floor. When you come in the game, he does that. But tonight he did that. But what I've seen over the past couple of games when he's been struggling, the way he's impacted the game is by hustling. It's by getting second chance points. It's by getting out and getting some steals. I saw a couple plays where he just ran back as fast as he could, tipped the ball, got a steal, and that way the team got a possession. I am enjoying seeing this side of Buddy. That's not what he's been known for historically. A guy that comes in the game and just comes off of pin downs. Now you see him add different facets to his game. It says a lot about the chemistry. It says a lot about this team and how they're impacting his game.
3 steals tonight for Buddy Hield.
Yeah, it's a great point. Like when you think about Indiana Buddy or Sacramento Buddy, like it was always, he had to be the shooter. He had to be the person that was producing offense. Now he does get to be in this secondary role where all he has to do is come in and do the right thing. It's very simple. Do the right thing for him is take advantage of that 43% career three-point shooting, but then also do the right thing in creating extra possessions, which you're talking about, hustling someone down, tag team in on a double team up top. He does all the little things that allow him to get those minutes out in the game.
Good night for Buddy Hield. Nice bounce back for him as he had been struggling from the three-point line. Let's take a look at the team stat comparison. I'm sure Steve Kerr will look at those turnovers saying, boys, we have to clean this up. They got sloppy there in the second half, no doubt about that. But they shoot nearly 46% from the floor.